Show, a.k.a. Mr. Boom Shakalaka. And now, Rick Sans and SergAndDestroy from Super Design Land. Boom Shakalaka.
You two are the epitome of what people should be really doing. And it's just fucking cranking on a work. You guys crank out so much fucking work at a rate that's unreal, and the quality is fucking amazing. So it's like, if you do that, I guarantee you, like you said, you'll have times where, you know, it plateaus and shit like that, but like, don't ever stop. Don't ever stop doing art to focus on growing a following.
Right.
To me, that's so counterintuitive. It's just like, no. The art is going to grow your following.
Right.
Make cooler shit. If you're doing the same thing over and over and over and over again, you're getting zero traction. Try something different. That's what I did. Like, when I tell you, I sold zero of my original stuff. Zero. And I think that gave me that chip on my shoulder. It's like, oh man, I'm just not. I have all these cool ideas from, you know, me freelancing and me, like, you know, my old animator days and all my fucking old kooky little stories that, like, it was a chip on my shoulder. It's like, yeah, I'm terrified to show original shit, because when I did, it didn't sell.
Yeah.
But I realized, it's like, okay, hold on. I've been doing all these cons back and forth. Bro, for almost 5 years, that's all I did. Where I was just on the road. Like, I think the most shows I did in a year was like 55, 56.
Wow.
No, bullshit. A little less, because that's the year. That's 52 weeks. Yeah. It was like closer to 50. So it's like 48 to 50.
Jeez.
But anywhere where I can put, and I considered that anywhere where I could put artwork out. If it was a free Friday, a free art Friday, if it was a gallery show, if it was Comic Cons, like, I remember just any weekend that I can be out there, like, I was out there, because my mission was, one, build a following. Build. Let me rephrase that. Build a clientele.
Right.
I wanted to introduce my style of artwork to the masses. Okay, well, the fastest and easiest way I saw that was fan art. I realized that fan art exists for a specific reason, because they come with a fandom. They come with people ready to buy your shit.
Yeah, you know? That's like, recently I started getting back into like daily drawings, so I kind of like, okay, well, each day, if it's not each day, well, it's every other day. One for me, one for you, exactly. You know, so like, you know, the comic covers are like, okay, well, here's a Joker, right? I'll draw the Joker, but then it looks more classic or something, but still in my style. And then the next day I'll draw one of my characters as Joker, you know, so like, you can see, okay, well, here's his style, but the style is the same, but one looks classic, one is, you know, interpretive of with my character. So like, that's why with me, I made my guys all cosplayers, because it allows for the fan art option. You know,
you smarter than me. You started with an original. Like, that's the chip on my shoulder, right? Like, I went hard and said, you know what? No, I'm going to rely on the style that I created to force feed all these fandom characters into the style. So it's like the simple coloring, the blank eyes, the mean mug, right? Those were like the signatures, because again, I picked up from different artists and from different people here. I'm about to turn on the heat gun on a can of spray paint.
I'm going to show the camera right now some of your stuff. So this is the Jokers right now. He did all the Jokers in his style, and this is what he's known for, with like the floating bust forms and or heads.
Again,
so there's also
very specific reason why I did heads, right?
Yeah.
I can crank out a whole series of fandom in a week.
Right.
As long as I didn't have to take care of like bodies. Now, mind you, when I did commissions and when I did pins or you know, there was definitely points where I'm like, nah, this deserves a full body. This character needs, whatever. But my stickers, like, if you see a lot of my shit, it's a lot of floating heads. It was an easy way to translate artwork quickly. Again, It was a business move and decision. Yeah.
You mentioned that's what it was, because I didn't want to interrupt I didn't want to interrupt your train of thought, and one of the VR camera died and I had to change the battery real quick. The 5K camera is hardwired in, so we're good on that one. But my thought was, you were talking about how like followers don't necessarily convert to sales, and people are so hyper focused on that, where like it might have been at the early ages or the early days of Facebook, but between like MySpace and Facebook, but when we had our clothing line, it was worn on MTV, it was in Nintendo commercials, our record art was on HGTV, but none of that converted into stuff like selling like crazy. It's just something cool that happened.
Listen.
Yeah.
You and I both know how fucking badass it is for you to see your work in a commercial.
Oh yeah.
In a print, in on TV. Like let's not kid ourselves. Like that gets us every single time. But like you said, not always does that convert to sales, right? Like like I can say, hey man, my shit was on fucking TV, and that really is even till now hasn't really. It's led to some opportunities,
right?
That led to some sales, but it wasn't like, oh, I saw your artwork here, I'm gonna buy your. No, it was never that beautiful of a connection. So it's like I think people fall in love with that. People fall in love with the hype of like, oh, so and so retweeted me. Oh, this celebrity just is rocking my thing. It's like cool, but I can promise you, it's not that hard, right? Like you know this.
Yeah. You
can send 100 care packages to 100 celebrities and 100 influencers, and maybe one or two will get seen. You know what I mean? And it's like, look, that's fucking awesome. To me, it's like
that's a pay to play, though.
It's a pay to play.
Yeah.
It's a pay to play, right? So it's like if you go down that route, well, then let's look at your stream. Let's look at your social media accounts. Well, start paying.
Yeah.
I promise, if you start paying all their fees and all their like ad tools and all that stuff, you're gonna get more likes. You're gonna get more this one, but it doesn't. Again, does it translate to sales? I haven't seen it personally yet. Maybe as I progress and maybe as I get a bigger following and the brand becomes more aware,
right?
Maybe. And I will be tested. Obviously, I'll test that shit. Listen, where if you tell me do this and I'll possibly make money, you better believe I'm gonna try it.
Well, that's what we did. We consciously 2 years ago decided to, because we split always our booths and things like that. Because obviously it's more just cost efficient and whatever. But we're also coming from home together, so we have kind of a one up because you got your boy there at the booth. But like I know about his stuff, he knows about mine. So if for some reason like I'm either helping somebody else or having a good conversation, and he knows we're like, oh, somebody else comes up, he can go over there and help out. But like we want to see each other succeed, and a lot of people don't have that. It's competition. It's competition. Where like,
or it's just free for all. Like people are like, well, he went to go piss, so
I'm not gonna talk about his stuff.
Yeah.
So like with us though, it's like if this dude out of nowhere somebody hits him up and he blows up, cool. Like that's my dude, and like I'm happy for him, But like when that's why we started like, well, cool, we'll brand ourselves because we had a lot of like collabs and different names and things. As we decided, like, okay, well that was fun, but that didn't pan out. We're still like two people as part of this whole, and then Decon was like, okay, we do customs, we do this and that. Like, okay, when are we going to break out of the customs that are just like mass factory produced? Like when are we going to get into like either supporting a friend's piece at our table that's customized or just our own stuff? And it wasn't until about, like 2 years ago or so. Oh, it was like 2019 was like really the
18
first.
18 and 19. Yeah. It was that change of
venues.
Of Decon that where we did it was the transition of us doing like making the bulk of the money from fan art to making the bulk of the money from originals. Yeah. Was during that weird.
Yeah, like, and we just decided to like, okay, well, if we're leaving Pasadena, which we had the good following every year, it was like blockbuster after a first couple learning. You have your growing pains from here and there, but like once we were hitting every year, and people were coming back to the booth like, oh, they're here type stuff. And then it's like, nope, we got to move now, and we're like, oh man, this is rough, type
and it's
deal.
Never been as good.
Yeah, so I mean,
tell Ben right now. Yeah. Wait, he knows. It's
like branding wise, like now we're glad that we made that jump. because
Yeah.
this is me, I'm Serge, I'm whatever, and then this is Rick, he has his stuff, this is who he is, this is why his art's this way. Like you with your gorilla and putting in everything towards like your universe, which you can talk about, like if you want to show off that Megatech, Rick.
No.
Like
Too heavy.
You've put everything into your production runs and
Yes.
you know, like trying to tie in, and you have a color scheme where a lot of people don't go when they think branded, they don't think of color schemes. They don't think of, you know, they may, I just got a logo on stuff. But it's a lot more than that. Like you have a reason behind your colors. Like for me and you click on not just the art and hustle level, but like we're both Puerto Rican, so when you throw the flag on everything, like it got me to start throwing the flag on everything because like, you know, I got a flag on my body. You know, that's part of who I am, where I'm like, well, screw this. Like, yeah, if my toy sells, I want the flag on it now. And, you know, and it's, you know, that's just a big part of us. So, like, if you want to talk about, like, why you put stuff a certain way in your toys and what the green and black is and what your universe is.
You know, it's my little secret, I guess is what it is, that I finally fucking revealed, right? So I want to go back to the whole teaming up, because I got to give a lot of credit to Dad's Cartoons, because we did a very similar thing,
Yeah,
right?
he's awesome.
When we won the
that dude's legit.
Yeah, he's a tremendous individual, fucking amazing stand-up guy. And when I started seeing, when I started having trouble paying for tables, he was the one's like, nah, you're not missing a con. Like, you're not gonna miss an opportunity to make money. I'll cover the table, pay me afterwards.
Yeah. And
it was like that for a month or two, until I got back on my feet and was able to do it. But we were able to do the same exact thing. It's one of the few people, because it's let's be real honest, it's super rare what you guys got. What I had with Mickey, right, with Dad's Cartoons. So one of the things are, like you said, we were looking out for each other's best interests, right? He knew how to run a crowd just as much as I could.
Yeah.
If I had to step away, he was selling my stuff just as much as I would sell his stuff if it was going away. Those partnerships are
far and few between.
Absolutely important. And I'm happy. This is why I fuck with you guys, because I know that there's a little bit of a sacrifice there. It's like, well, yeah, I can while they're gone, I can outsell and outbid my stuff and like fuck this other dude. But the fact that respect is there is incredible. And you know, again, which leads me to where the status is today, right? So I'm doing all these cons. You know, we're me and Dad's Cartoon decided to call it like the Playful Dads Initiative. It was like, you know, we were getting crowds of people. It was really fucking weird. It was super like out of body experience of like, oh my God, like there's something here. Even at smaller venues, mind you, we were every weekend, like we were out somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like he wouldn't travel far, so I would do the single shows a little further on my own. Sometimes I brought his artwork too, things that I knew could sell, and I know I could put money in your pocket. You help me, let me help you, type of deal.
Right.
And the more I did shows, the more, you know, like the more this is where it started. The more that chip I had on my shoulder of like, man, I can't sell originals. I'm looking at all the hustlers. Now, mind you, I'm seeing them week in, week out. They're selling their own comic books. They're selling their own characters. They're selling their own toys. And I'm just sitting there like, damn, like this is like, what am I doing here? Like, this is what I want to be doing. And now, mind you, like I said, I'm an old school animator. So it's like, you know, when I got out of college, that's what I was doing. I was 3D animating. And a lot of my favorite part about animating was the storytelling part. Yeah. Right. So it's like when we were taught to create these Bibles, right? They were called animation Bibles. Like you have a concept. Okay. Well, when you animate something, I need to know not only where is he going, but what is his motivation? Why is he bending over to pick up a mushroom? Why is he running across a field? Like, you know, so you would literally sit there and if you were doing a 10-second animation of a walk cycle, you had to explain, well, why is he walking like that? Why is he walking with a swag? No, why is he limping? Why, you know what I'm saying? So like you would build out these worlds, mini worlds, but like, hey, this is Raul and he owns a illegal animal farm on the side of the road, and you know he sells worms at the pier, and that's when you saw that. It was just like you had all these like interconnected stories for just a few seconds of animation. And that always stuck with me.
Yeah.
And with me, shout out to my old roommate Tyler, we would sit there and dude, we were right fresh out of college, our new job. I wasn't married yet. I was in long distance relationship with my now wife. Had a lot of time on my hands. No clientele, no nothing, because I wasn't selling stuff. I was just working a 9 to 5, had some freelance clients. But let me tell you, in every single apartment, I would always have like an animatic. We would storyboard stupid ideas.
Oh yeah.
Just you name it, there was always some type of storyboard that we would sit down and say, well, how about, the one thing that started it all was an article about a dolphin in the U.S. military who was a water mine seeking dolphin. Now, if that's not the funniest shit that you ever think about, like, how would a dolphin find a water mine? Right.
running into them.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. But no, these were fucking smart ass dolphins that had this like
sonar.
tech on them. They would find them, they would tag them, they would come back. Super fucking smart. But in my mind, I thought it was hilarious because I thought that they would just throw dolphins to fucking blow up and there's the mine, right? That was how my mind worked.
That's the short.
That turned into like, damn, like, well, how about okay, there's military trained animals. All right, well, how about like what's the smartest animal that's out there? And then that turned into like my whole like
apes.
Obsession with monkeys and primates and apes, right? There was something called MATF, which I still like. It still exists today in the story that I'm writing.
Nice.
Because again, let me paint this picture. I'm at the cons, chip on my shoulder, seeing everybody do their shit. I'm selling fan art. Yeah, I'm making decent money. I'm surviving, but I don't have enough time to do my own shit. But in the back of my mind, for years, I've always had all these random stories I would write. I thoroughly enjoy just writing, and I'm not a writer, but I just love fucking storytelling, and I would have weird sketches and post-it notes. Like I could go to the office right now and show you all the damn post-it notes on the wall. It's just constant. What would this be? How can I write this? And it was always a throwback to my animation days. And the one thing that started the primate obsession, I called it the military anti-terror force. That was my shit, right? I had the storyboard on the wall.
Nice.
At the time, it was about the same people that train the dolphin are training fucking monkeys. And they're gonna do a mission, and you see the calamity of what happens where monkeys do a mission.
Yeah,
that was sitting on my wall even before I was married. We're talking, I've been married. I'm talking about 04, 05.
Wow.
This is the shit this is what bugs me about everything. It's been sitting there.
Yeah. So
fast forward, right before COVID hit, I started working again after 5 years, and a decent dope job. I started designing Disney dog toys, and that just like that opened my mind up to like production and really sinking my teeth to like production. And then like, shit, this is fucking fantastic. It was the first time that I collaborated with Quicks on the tech Gorilla, the big brawler looking dude.
Yeah.
And it was the first time that I tasted production work on my own. Right. Now I'm doing production for Disney. Now I know how to I'm getting all this knowledge.
Okay.
Right before fucking COVID hit, I saw the signs on the walls. Shows started dropping off. They started canceling. I'm like, damn, like I'm gonna lose this income here, right?
Yeah.
Because mind you, for the last 5 years, I was building up this ginormous inventory, bro. Like stickers, dude. I offered at one point 150 sticker designs. I don't know, like 80 pin designs, and these were all on the table. You know what I'm saying? I had a crazy inventory: posters, patches, lanyards, toys. You name it. I had a bunch of shit.
Yeah. And
show started dying off. Everything started kind of like, slowing down. And it was the first time I took the black and green colorway and introduced it. I was like, my first time around, I was years ahead of like finalizing the story, but I knew in the back of my mind that I'm going to write this story. And I'll backtrack it because it hit me probably a year or two before I started that production work, that I remember one night sitting there, and again with this chip on my shoulder, like I want my own shit. And I remember It might have been a little inebriated, but I remember sitting there and like rereading all my weird stories, all my different stories, and I'm like,
how can I connect these?
damn, these all connect.
Yep.
If I change this here and this character, I take them and put them in here, and then this is the reason they're here. Damn, all these little short stories that I've written, all these weird characters that I've created, they exist in one giant world.
Yeah, you had like the red,
And it was just like,
the red thread. Like
why,
the web of
why
red.
haven't I thought about this?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it literally connected all the dots.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, there is this the new word I like, kismet. It had to come to this point.
Yeah.
I had to go the route I did to get here.
Yeah.
And now it's like, wait a minute. So I sat back, dude, and I just started writing. I started connecting the different stories I put together, MATF being one of them. MATF is literally a chapter in what I now call the Prime Ape Chronicles. The Prime Ape Chronicles. And it's my ode to like everything ape and what's going on today and Planet of the Apes. It's just like it's my homage to everything.
Yeah.
And not a month after like that happened was when I was approached with the collabo with Quicks.
Nice.
And I was like, damn, the minute that I kind of like
Made that spark.
it clicks, there's an opportunity. So I'm like, fuck, I'm not done writing the story. I'm still not done writing the story yet. But that day I started this giant timeline. I went back to my animation Bible roots, right? It's like, okay, what am I doing here? Okay, let me start off with a timeline. I know exactly what I need to happen. This happens on this date. This happens on this date. Created this whole thing. Now it's like, okay, in this part, I need all my math characters. What are these monkeys? What are they doing here? And I started just fucking building and building and building. And again, still terrified. I couldn't tell this story because I'm like, man, like people are gonna hate it. Like there's nothing worse than having someone call your baby ugly. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I don't want people to call my baby ugly. But there came a point, I saw all the success with the collaboration with Quicks, the black and green. And I'm like, I chose black and green for a specific reason. It is part of the integral story of what I'm writing.
Right.
If you see, there's almost like a cross that happens on my design. It's a lime green cross on a black background. That cross represents almost like a mission statement and something that the main character abides by throughout the entire story that he learned back in his military days. And it's really simple. It's you either lead, you follow, or you get the fuck out of my way.
Right.
Like I don't care what role you play. If you're playing a role, let's make it happen. Let's follow me. Let's fucking make shit happen. Listen, if you're a natural born leader and you have ideas and you can fucking help me progress, fucking take the lead. I'll be that follower. But if you bring neither to the fucking table, stay the fuck out of my way so you're not impeding on my progress and on my progress.
Yep.
And that's like that one kind of thing that I wrote into the story early on that he lives by.
Yeah. And
it's like the black and green eventually becomes the colors of a movement. You'll see that throughout the story, he learns that early on. He adopts it through you. You get this ginormous back and forth. There's bad dudes and there's all kinds of. I can't wait to fucking drop this shit. Jesus Christ! But at one point,
I'm excited.
He infiltrates he becomes part of a tactical urban fighting force here in the States, right? Where now the military has adopted these smart animals and smart apes. He becomes part of that, but then that gets corrupted. He finds the corruption. The black and green signifies the rebellion of that. I'm going to rebel against this. If you believe in what I'm doing, I am now taking the fucking lead. Fucking follow me. Get my back. Let's fucking do this together. And the black and green is the colors people wear when they back him up, when he's fucking beat the shit down and the community comes together to support and help and lift them up. They all rock the black and green. And that's how I justify doing all my customs in that colorway, right? It's like, that's the community. That's that's everybody out there that have come together to fucking fight for the same exact purpose. So, it's a deeply enrooted kind of like subconscious mention of what it is. But when you see that black and green, that's a fucking powerful fucking colorway. You see it. You can see it on the shelf. You can see it down the block. You can see it on the billboard. Like those colors represent that. They represent exactly that. You lead, follow, or get the fuck out of my way. Because at this point, I'm not stopping.
Right.
I'm moving forward. I'm breaking through walls. I'm breaking through. For everybody that told me no, for everybody that.
Nope, you froze.
Uh-oh.